Right, so recently there was a report regarding the iPhone 15 series getting a new design, and we do now have a more credible source chiming in and telling us that this could be the case. So Shrimp Apple Pro, a very credible source, has now also told us that yes, we should see a new form factor for the 15 series, and this makes sense because we usually see 3-year design cycles with iPhones, and so with the iPhone 12, 13 and 14 being based on the same flat chassis, it makes sense for the 15 to do something different. And like that previous report, Shrimp does tell us we should see a design that's more rounded. But he does give us further details regarding this, specifically the fact that while the front's still going to be flat, the back of the device should have a curvature, so it should be similar to the iPhone 5C and of course the recently announced MacBooks. And this is a fantastic design language in my opinion because it kind of blends the best of both worlds. You get the flat display of the flat chassis. That's way better in my opinion because screen protectors are much easier to apply with a flat display, but also of course durability wise, these displays with the ceramic SureTech are much better. However, the big con with the flat chassis right now is the fact it's not very comfortable in the hand. It does dig into your hand, so of course the rounded back from older iPhone designs should fix this. And so yeah, this sounds fantastic, but I do want to mention my favorite part about this report is that Shrimp does tell us we should see titanium with the 15 Pros. I've been forever complaining about the weight of the Pro models, and so titanium should drastically reduce the weight, also possibly give us a matte finish. So yeah, that's fantastic upgrades. Now, I was worried that titanium would increase scratches on the sides, like some reports regarding the Apple Watch Ultra had suggested, but some of you guys in the comments have said that's not been the case, and so yes, I'm hoping there's no scratch gate issues with the iPhone 15 Pro series, and titanium is just as durable as steel. However, I do still want to mention there is a con to titanium, and that is color coatings don't really work with it, and so there should be less color options with the next Pro models, similar to the iPhone 10 release. But honestly, I'm fine with that if we do get titanium because, as I said, it's going to drastically reduce the weight. Now, some of you guys in the comments have been wanting a quad camera design for future iPhones, and Shrimp does tell us that no, that's not going to be the case. The bump's likely going to stay the same with the 15 series. And yeah, as I've said in previous videos, I have no issues with this. You're not going to be looking at the back of your iPhone on a regular basis, and so I couldn't care less about the changes on the back. And if we're being honest, the iPhone is instantly recognizable with the triple lens camera on the back, and so I think it's going to stay for future iPhones. So yeah, that does pretty much confirm to us that the periscope zoom lens is going to replace the 3x, and Apple's not keeping that lens. And that makes sense because much like they did with the 2x, I could see Apple doing some software magic and giving us an optical quality 3x using information from the main and the periscope lens. So yes, overall I'm very happy with these rumored changes, and like Shrimp says, this new rounded chassis should create a perfect transition from the back of the device to the camera bump, and I completely agree with this, especially looking at some renders. And for those of you who are not fans of this design, I'm pretty sure you're going to change your mind because that's always the case when we do get rumors regarding drastic design changes. I remember everyone hating on the iPhone 11 leaks and the rumored triple lens camera, but once we got the final product, everybody accepted it. And the same goes for the cutout with the 14 Pro series. I remember many not being a fan of it during the leaks, but once we saw the final product and Dynamic Island in action, a lot of people were fans of this change and they were very happy with this. And so yeah, before you guys judge this design, do remember that Apple's renders are gonna look a lot better. Now, one final thing Shrimp told us is the fact this redesign's only coming to the 15 Pros, not the regular 15 models. And that is a bummer, but it kinda makes sense because A, Apple wants to upsell you to the higher end models, and so a fancy new redesign is going to do that. But also B, do remember the regular 14s got a massive internal redesign that of course made them much easier to repair, and that was due to the flat designs, so getting rid of that would kind of be a backwards move for the regular models because I'm sure this new design that's being reported on is going to be much more difficult to repair since the back glass now curves around the back, and that's going to be a pain to remove compared to flat glass. Now, Shrimp also does tell us that as expected, Apple has not finalized the redesign yet. I'm sure they're experimenting with different versions, and so the final design we get could be completely different, so don't get too excited about these rumors. Anyways, let's delve into your comments. Say Cranston says, I really hope at least 90Hz for the base 15, then I'll upgrade. So yes, I know many techies want this, and even I think Apple should include it, but as I've said in previous videos, Apple does want to upsell you to the Pro models, and so the regular models are likely going to stay with 60Hz. However, do remember, like this year you could just get last year's 14 Pro by the time the base 15s launch, and those have 120Hz, so better builds, more lenses, and so yeah, definitely do get that instead if you care about the refresh rate. But for the consumers buying these regular models, I doubt they care about 90Hz. And yeah, regarding that, James N says, I might be in the minority here, but having an iPhone 14 Pro and iPad mini 6, 120Hz does very little for me. I have no problem going between the two devices. While never thinking 120Hz is better, I'm totally fine with 60Hz. That said, any device over $500 should have 120Hz. And yeah, that's a fair point at the end. I do agree that for the price, Apple should be including 90Hz, but I'm basically in the same boat where I do not care about 120Hz. Yes, I do see it, but I can live without it, and I have a mix of 120Hz and 60Hz products, and I really can't tell much of a difference. And I'm a techie, so for regular consumers, I doubt they're going to see much of a difference. That's why Apple's still giving us 60Hz. But hey, who knows, once Apple can produce 200 million LTPO panels, maybe they will expand it to the regular models. The only issue is 120Hz is called ProMotion, so giving that to the regular models would be pretty odd. Maybe Apple rebrands it, or of course, as others have suggested, maybe Apple gives us Air Motion instead, that's 90Hz. But that's the least of Apple's problems with the regular models. They should be addressing other things first, and so I don't think the regular 15 models are gonna get 120Hz. So Post Digital Audio says, slightly curved makes me think the iPhone 6 or the MacBook Pro, which may be their design strategy. And yeah, I'm pretty sure they're mimicking the Apple Watch Ultra and the MacBook Pro design because those are definitely flatter than previous designs, but they do still have slight curvatures. And actually, going back further, the iPod Touch should basically be what the iPhone 15 is if these rumors are right, because it has a flat display, but of course with a slight curvature on the back. And so yeah, that looks great. I'm definitely a fan of this. Anyways, that's about it, but tell me your thoughts regarding these reports in the comments. Anyways, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumors. Check out the video in the link above on details regarding Apple's VR headsets. And on that note, see ya peeps.